I do have some transparencies I'm going to show, but I did say in the program I was going to be discussing the different types of aliens. And I have come across at least 8 or so different types in my work. Some of them you've probably heard, but the little grays are the ones that are supposed to be the most common. But to me, they're not frightening. I've spoken to them directly, and I think they're really very nice little guys because I've got to understand more about them. They are more of an android, a manufactured type. I call them the gophers. They're the ones that do the chores and do the errands. They send them down to do everything, and they don't understand what they're doing. It's kind of like the orderlies in the hospital, you know. They come in and take blood and they don't care. You know, they go in the next one and take their blood. And you say, wait a minute, I want to know what you're doing. And they say, oh, no. You know, that's the attitude I have about them. They're just doing what they're told. And they might look frightening, but that black things that are over their eyes are not their real eyes. That is a lens, almost like a sunglasses. Our friend standing over here, you know, it's almost like a sunglasses because they can't handle the radiation of our sun. It's to protect their eyes. And I was surprised when I saw the film on the alien autopsy. Many of you saw that, didn't you? It was around for quite a while, how they removed something from the eye, a black membrane type thing. And I thought, wow, I said, I've come across that in my books. In my work, and they said, when somebody read your books, and I said, and this one hasn't been printed yet, you know, where I've discussed that they have something over their eyes. So they have come up with the same things that I've come up with, apparently. And the skin is very, very delicate. They said it would hurt them to blow on it even. It's very delicate. So they have to be covered with a kind of a membrane to protect their skin. Covers them all over. This helps to give them this mask-like appearance. But also the mask-like appearance comes from the fact that the aliens mostly communicate mentally, telepathically. And their digestive, they don't have any digestive organs as we know them. And over the time of many, many evolutions with evolution, their digestive elimination organs have atrophied. They don't use them anymore. They don't have to. So the same has happened with the face, the facial muscles, because they don't talk, they don't have to. These muscles have become very stiff and mask-like. And it's not that they're mean-looking, it's just that they don't use expressions. You imagine what we look like to them? Our mouths are going all the time. We have these sounds coming out of us. We use our hands and all these gestures. They don't need that because it's all mind to mind. First thing you have when you have mind-to-mind communication, you have total honesty. But I think naturally we're going to scare them because they're seeing us doing all these gyrations and everything. So they look at them and we think they look mean, but actually it's more like a mask because they don't use these muscles anymore. And once you begin to understand these things, I think you can see in a different way. And I was told they don't understand emotions because where they came from, this was not one of the requirements. They want to understand it. But they said it's not that some of these are better than or worse than, they're just different than. And we have to understand, the same way on our earth, everyone is just different. It doesn't make anybody any better or any worse. We all have different traits, we have different things about us, and the same with the aliens. Some of these different types, they said perceive things in a different way because of where they came from, how they were brought up, and how they were raised. And all of us have to learn these different lessons when we're into reincarnation and going different places. Here we are into learning how to live in a physical body that has limitations. We can't do mind communication. And we deal with emotions, and we have to deal with feelings and sensations. They are on planets where they've already gone through that. So you see, each one has a different criteria, which does not make it worse than. Well, those are the little ones that I found out about. And then we have the tall 7-foot ones. And I'm going to show you a picture of that. It's wonderful when you can have a subject who's an artist. And this woman was an excellent artist, and she sketched for me what she saw. I'll describe all the different types, and then I'll show you the transparencies of what she saw. Okay, these tall 7-foot guys look like the little grays. They're bald, but they're very tall. And they are very intelligent. I think of them as kind of like the leaders. Most of them have been seen on the laboratory ships, the huge motherships that exist outside of our atmosphere. They stay up there because they're too big to land. And the little guys come down and bring the people up and the samples up and all of that. But it would make sense that if they created a worker, it would look like them, only in a smaller version. Little toys or something, you know, because they do look like them, but they have this, they're very wise, very intelligent, but they're also very kind. And I found another one that is a round-headed type of these small ones. I had one case, and that's in the last book that I wrote, dealing with these round-headed kind. Their eyes have regular pupils. They have webbed fingers, and their feet are almost like mittens, like they have, like a duck would have on its coating. You can see the bones in there, but they don't have individual toes. And these kind, when they cannot come out of the craft without some kind of protection, because they're very sensitive to the bacteria and the things in the air, so they have to go through these locks to get in, and they put their people inside some kind of energy field so they will not be infected from them. They're more sensitive to the germs that we have, and they usually will wear some kind of boots, and they will boots and things when they go outside the craft. And I have another one that I've seen about 3 times. I call it the nurse. It's very wrinkled, has wrinkled coarse skin. It's another small one, but it looks almost like elephant hide skin, and very little wispy hair. And this kind is usually the one that people see when they're taken, you know, they are taken through the walls, they're taken through the ceilings. It's a breakdown of the molecular structure, and they've described to me how this is all done. But for some reason, when they're taken through the wall to the craft, they have to have somebody on either side to help them to go. They said it's 2 different kinds of teleportation. To go through the wall and up to the craft is a different type. And this nurse type is like an escort. And sometimes when the people are having the examinations and they become afraid, they said this type appears right next to them, and it very kind eyes. It's almost like it's going to be